Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And those of you here with me for the first time, my name is Melissa Reed and I'm a mixed media artist. So I've got some things in front of me today. I've got one of these cradled boards. This is a 6x12. It comes in raw wood and I went ahead and used some Liquitex gesso on that to get it nice and primed. I'm going to show you that right there. I'm going to have links to everything that I've used in the description if you are interested. And once I let that dry, I'm going to start on that. I also have here some modeling paste. That's the Artist's Loft brand that I have there. I also have a Liquitex brand. I put a link to one or the other in the description for you. And that's just an offset spatula that I use for spreading. When I first open it, I like to give it a good mix. Little tip, if yours starts to dry out on you, you can add a little bit of water to it and really give it a good mix to reconstitute it. Unless it is like, kind of completely dry, then probably just need a new one. But I am just using that spatula to add texture right to the surface of that board. And I am not looking for a particular texture or pattern or anything like that. I am literally just looking for as much texture as possible because I have some ideas with some acrylic paint that are going to work really nicely with all of that texture. If you've not used the modeling paste before, it's kind of like plaster but for art. So if you use regular plaster or joint compound on an art piece, it would probably crack off over time. And this is specifically designed to be used with acrylic media so that that doesn't happen. It's going to create a nice bond with the surface of whatever you're using. You can use it on canvas, and I definitely have. I like to use it on these boards. I just like a more sturdy surface, but you can do a canvas. And it will bond nicely with that as well as create a bond with the acrylic paint because it is an acrylic media. Now, make sure you wipe the edge of your container off really well when you before you put your lid on. I have made that mistake several times, and it has led to me like pounding on the lid with a hammer to crack the seal that it made. So please don't be like me and wipe your things off. Okay, so in front of me there, I've got Liquitex Basics, Burnt Umber, and also Amsterdam Prussian Blue. I've not used any Amsterdam paints before. This is the first one, and I'll tell you, I really love it. I've definitely seen other artists on YouTube use it. I don't know why I've never bought any, but it does a nice job, and that Prussian Blue is beautiful. So all I'm doing here is applying some of those paints, and I end up using a little bit of the Payne's Gray Daler-Rowney acrylic ink there as well, and I'm just creating a dark background. I'm using a little bit of water to get everything flowing together nicely and making a big mess, which is what I love to do in the studio. You might see my shop towel down there. I like to do that so that I don't completely ruin the paper that I have down on the counter every single time that I do anything. Also, incidentally, the paper that I have down on the counter is parchment paper, and I have started using that as a table cover in my studio, and I love it because it is not that expensive, first of all, and I have been using it just kind of like as a palette as well, and I'll just mix my paints right on it, and then you can just pick it up and throw it away when you're done. Okay, so that there is unbleached titanium in Liquitex Basics. I also have titanium white over there on the table, and I'm going in once that dark surface has dried with a dry brush and just brushing some of both of those colors on the board that I have there. And what's happening is the texture is picking some of that up. You can't really tell right now, but you'll see here as I do the different layers of paint that the texture is really going to stand out a little bit more. And I'm going back and forth between dark and light colors because I really want to build up layers of like interest and intrigue under there, which is going to make a nice background for what I have in mind. And you can see I'm using a variety of tools. I'm using that paintbrush. I've also got a couple of color shapers there that I'm using to spread these out. And I'm just looking for, again, as much variation as I can get. I like my backgrounds to be very unique and very interesting. I'm going in with an old gift card there, just going back and forth and seeing what kind of grabs me in the moment. That's what I do as an intuitive artist. I say this in all my videos, but in case you haven't seen any of my other ones, for me, being an intuitive artist means kind of just starting with, a single idea or maybe not even an idea and just throwing some paint or something, some marks down on a substrate, and letting what happens on the surface kind of inform me of my next moves. It's how I really like to make my art, and I've had pretty good success with it, so I'm going to keep going there. But you can even start to see there when I sprayed some water and lifted that to let it run down, that those nice textures are already starting to come out. And then I'm adding a little bit of the titanium white on top of the unbleached titanium just to add a little bit more areas of brightness. The spray bottle is one of my most used tools in the studio. I mean, it really can entirely change the entire look of a piece in just seconds by spraying a little bit of water onto it. And as you can see there, it has very much changed what we have going on, and I'm really starting to like it. Um, it might look like a mess to some of you right now, but this is one of those trust the process things. And if you've seen my other work, you probably have an idea of what I'm doing here, just building up these layers. But I'm going to go ahead and continue with these light colors and a little bit of water. And when I'm done with that, it really felt like it needed a kind of a warm color added to it. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm taking a little bit of that paint off there just to reveal some of the darkness underneath, because I want a nice balance between the two, and just going back and forth between the darkness and the light until I'm happy with the way things are looking. A shop towel is another one of my favorite studio tools, and I mean, this is nothing crazy. A lot of people use those, but they're really great for not only cleanup, but I use them as painting tools and removing paint and all sorts of things. But I'll take you in to show you a close-up here before we get to the next step, and you can see where all of the textures are really starting to pop and kind of shine through there between the layers of paint. I decided to warm things up a little bit with some golden yellow, because again, this is going to have another layer or two of paint. I haven't decided at this point quite yet, but I want those little pops of warmth to shine through in whatever color I end up deciding to use. So I'm using that straight out of the tube, and that is Golden Brand Indian Yellow. Again, I will have links to that and everything else that I'm using for you there in the description. And I'm not covering it entirely in this case. I'm just going around the canvas, or the board, and putting it on where I feel like it's necessary, which I know might not be that helpful, but that's part of the intuitive process. You just kind of got to figure it out and do it as you want to see it done. So I did not allow the paint to dry between the titanium white and the unbleached titanium and this yellow layer, but I am going to do that between this layer and the next. I'm going to show you that in just a moment. So after I let that dry, I'm actually going to spray down the entire surface just to get a nice layer of water on there. And I've got some of the Liquitex Basics fluid acrylic on there, and that is cadmium red medium hue. And I'm going on there and just spreading that over the surface, and I'm allowing that water to help blend and move it all over the place. I am basically covering up the whole entire surface, but not necessarily with the brush strokes. I'm letting the water do a lot of the work for me by moving the paint where it wants to go. I'll take you in here in a second and show you what we're dealing with so far. Now you can really see where all of those layers underneath are kind of acting with the colors on top to create even more colors and even more interest, which was exactly what I was hoping would happen. Alright, so while that layer is drying, we're going to make the collage paper that I intend to use on top. And what I'm using here is some acid-free tissue paper. Again, there will be a link in the description for you. And I am ripping that instead of cutting it because I don't want the edges to be perfect, and I'm actually ripping it on the wrong side of the ruler. So this ruler is meant, if you're going to use it as a tearing straight edge, smooth side down because it has like a cork backing on it, but I really wanted to have a nice rough surface on that page that I just ripped. And then this one I'm just tearing by hand. And we're going to go ahead and create some collage papers like I did a few videos ago, and I will put a link to those videos of which I'm speaking in the description for you as well if you did not see those. But I'm sure a good many of you are going to recognize what I'm doing here. I have a sheet of like tarp plastic that I use here, and I'm spreading a layer of matte gel medium down, and I'm laying those tissue paper pieces down that I just cut. I'm going to lay a black paper down there so you can see. I'm getting a good layer of the medium on the top and the bottom, and I'm going in with a bamboo skewer and creating holes in each of these pieces. Rather than make you sit and watch me do the whole process, I went ahead and sped that up a little bit for you. And these are not a perfect shape, and they're not meant to be. I wanted something very organic looking, and this paper really is going to do the trick. I'm just taking an edge of an old gift card and just sliding the edge of that paper up, mostly doing that so that it's easier for me to peel that up from this plastic tarp. Incidentally, I tried to do this right on the parchment paper the first time. Yeah, don't do that, because while your cookies will not stick to parchment paper, your acrylic media definitely will, and I had to start all over again and do it on the plastic, which I knew worked, and I don't know why I didn't just do that to begin with, so let me save you some heartache. Just use the plastic tarp. Okay, so that giant jug that you just saw is Saks High Flow Matte Black Acrylic Paint, and I have a sponge roller there. Someone asked me to show this process. I usually leave it out of the videos, but that is the quickest way that I have found to paint the sides. Yes, of course, you can use a brush if you want to, but I get this done in a fraction of the time. And what I also can do at the exact same time that I'm doing this, and I'm going to show you in a second, is when I set this piece down, when the sides are all finished, I can take that sponge roller and come up along the edges if I want just a little bit of the paint to come inside of the surface, the viewable surface of the painting. So I just give it a nice little darkened edge. Okay, so this is what we ended up with when I peeled those papers off of the plastic, and I'm mixing up a little paint because I've decided I want where those are going to be placed on the board, I want the underneath of that to have a little bit of an aqua tinge, and I believe that is bright aqua green that I used there, and I mixed a little bit of the Prussian blue along with that, and then I ended up putting a little bit of titanium white in it too, which you'll see here in a moment. Again, I'll double check that teal color, that turquoise color, and I'll let you know in the description what exactly that is, but I believe that is bright aqua green. And I'm using my color shaper to loosely put that on there. I don't want the whole entire area covered, and I'm just kind of using those pieces as a guide because I do want to keep that color kind of contained within the area where those are going to be. And you can see I got a little bit in a place I didn't want, and because it's still wet, I was able to just pick that right back up. And it doesn't matter to me if a little bit of the paint gets on the back of those sheets because they're going to be going on top of there anyway, and you're not going to be able to tell like one area from the next of what, had the paint on the collage paper versus on the board. So it all works out in the end. Okay, this next part is going to be a little bit difficult to see just for a second, but I'm setting those what have become transparent tissue paper collage papers down there, and I decide I want them to be a warmer color. So I'm mixing up a little bit of the golden Indian yellow with just some of my matte medium, which is going to make it a little more translucent. I didn't want anything like too opaque sitting on top of those, but I did think they needed a little bit of color. And you'll see when I lay those on top of the painting, especially with that turquoise area that we just added, this really looks pretty cool if I do say so myself, and I'm very happy with the way that turned out. So what I'm doing here is adding just a little bit more of the paint, and it's kind of hard to tell, but you can sort of see how the edges of those holes, because there is a little bit of paper gathered up in there, it's collecting some extra paint there, so it's giving it a little bit of variation of almost like darkness to the color without changing the color of the actual paint. So once those were dried, I decided I wanted to put some stamp some text. I guess this isn't real text, it doesn't actually say anything, but it's a text stamp. And I wanted that to be on those pieces as well, just to add yet another little bit of interest. So I have rolled some Mars Black out on my sheet of parchment there, and I'm just going through until I'm happy with the way those look as far as getting them all stamped up. They don't need to be perfect, and I don't need every single little piece of them to be covered with text, but I do want enough on both of them. And what is enough, you might ask? Well, it'll tell me. It'll tell me when it's enough. And again, that's kind of how I operate as an intuitive artist. Like, it will let me know, like, just stop, don't do anymore. And that's about the point that we're getting at right there. So I went ahead and let those dry. I actually think I hit them with a hair dryer so I could keep going. And now I'm going to get those glued down with my matte medium there. And I end up using a good bit of this because this paper, the tissue paper, ended up being fairly thick because remember, it was just tissue paper, but it does have a big coat of the matte medium on top of it already, plus paint now, and then it does gather in those holes. So we just want to make sure we're using enough there so that it's not going to have like any loose ends that are going to potentially come up. And as with all my collage papers, I put the medium on first and lay it down and then put another coat on the surface, just again to make sure that everything is good and stuck there. And once that's dried, I went in and did just a little tiny bit of fine detail with a Pitt pen, and I'm just doing some line design. It's going to connect the top piece to the bottom piece, and then in my mind, that really wasn't quite enough, so I ended up adding some of those same types of lines on the very top piece and the very bottom piece just to make it a little more cohesive and make it feel a little bit more like a finished piece. And I'm going to show you all of that in just a second. I'm going to take it in up close so you can see everything there. I'm really happy with the way this turned out. I love the colors in this one. Everything just worked really nicely together and all of the texture and everything. And I'm going to show you what the piece looks like when it's completely finished. All right, here's the finished product. You have to let me know what you think. I really like this idea a lot. I love using that collage paper with the torn holes in it, and I just love the colors of this one. Let me know if you have tried any of the collage paper techniques that I showed that in the video where I made this particular one. I'll again put that in the description as well as my list of links for you. And yeah, thank you guys so much. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, please hit the subscribe for me. And if you liked it, give me a like and do the hypes and all of the things. I know it gets longer and longer every week because they just keep adding things for us. But I do really appreciate all of you. And if I haven't answered your comments yet, I apologize. I am trying to get on that tomorrow. So bear with me here and take a look for this piece on my Etsy shop. I'm going to put a link up on the screen for you right now, and there will also be links to that and all of my other social media in the description of this video. But until next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, have a wonderful week.